Okay, looks like it's actually working fine now. So I'm going to actually just take the time to... I'm going to take the time to share this one, then afterwards we should be on our way. So just give me a minute or so, then we should be able to go. So, just a quick share and... So, options, share to a group. It's been a while, so a little bit patient on this end, but at least we got it working for the most part, so I'm actually quite happy with that. Okay, there we go. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. Today we are, well, at least we're back to drafting normally again. The previous week I couldn't get the draft to work. It turns out that it's a bunch of botch settings and Streamlabs combined with the setup I'm working, so I got that fixed already, at least fixed enough that I could have run it again. I did end up just doing a quick draft by myself. Now that one is a bit of a shame. Kid, man. I kind of wish I couldn't even record normally, so that was off the table. But that was a shame. It did solidify my love for artifacts. But let's see if we can get into black red. Oh, come on, Mech Titan Core again. I kind of want to not pick it for once. So yeah. As much as I like Mech Titan Core, it does solidify us into artifacts, which is quite good. But this is probably the wonkiest one of the bunch. It's still great, but it's not exactly the one that I want. I would much rather take Touch the Spirit Realm here in this case. Also, we are kind of passing like Armed Guard Familiar and Unstoppable Ogre, so it looks like I might be better off trying to go for enchantments here. Reasoning is that among the enchantments, pretty much only Fang of Shigeki is a good one. I'm gonna take Touch the Spirit Realm, though I probably should be taking Mech Titan Core. I've just been disappointed with it personally, so well, we got another one, so I guess we can go for that. Alternately, we can take the Fang of Shigeki this time, but I would much rather... Goshen Tai is reasonable, but let's just solidify ourselves in removal. It's not often we get this much removal. That's pretty solid, so I want to go for that. It is a bit awkward if we run into an opponent that has good enchantment removal, but it's better to kind of have it. At least I feel much safer with this already. I can say that no one is in white at this point if they're really gonna let me have all three of these. It's a shame that we're passing the Preserver. But you know what? It's not often we get this much removal. We could easily go mono white at this rate. Not so sure. We'll see. But at least it's nice to be back on track. Still waiting for someone to pass. Yeah, 3 copies of Touch the Spirit Realm right off the bat. Maybe a bit overkill. This isn't perfect removal compared to some of the stuff that Black offers, but it is relatively unconditional. So we can take it for that. We also have to remember that it does have an option. It does have a blink option, so we can use it to protect our stuff if we're not removing anything. So that's something to keep in mind. Still kind of waiting for the next pack. Okay, so we have a few good options here. Roaring Earth, always solid. Spirited Companion keeps us in white. We did pass quite a bit of green, but nothing too significant. I can just take the Spirited Companion to always stay in white. It's pretty solid, but Roaring Earth is pretty good. It's good early. It's not as great late, but it's still fine. I guess we take the Roaring Earth here. Just have to remember that we are kind of short on creatures right now, and we have 0. So, but at least we want the cornerstone more or less. This would be the umpteenth time that I end up in green-white. I might be fated to these colors. Even though in actual constructed I don't play the green-white enchantments deck yet, I do have a mid-range deck that was so it's not even last meta, it was last meta. It was only meta for like 2 weeks, so that wasn't so great. I do run the mono green and the mono white decks separately, of course. Let's see, where is our... Okay, there we go. We get an Imperial Oath. That's a good follow. This is a pretty solid follow-up. Bit shy on creatures, but we could start taking Tornwood Falls. We are in splashable colors. That said, Imperial Oath is a solid common. I could just take that. It's really between this, and this. This one can wait a bit. I guess we take the Imperial. I guess we can take the Imperial Oath. Though that means we have virtually one creature. Okay, now we kind of have to... unfortunately, this is not the one that makes the token. I'll just take a kunai just to give us... Because I definitely don't want the second Imperial Oath. We could just take Commune with Spirits. It is virtual card. We'll start with that. It's also possible that we could just stick into white and we don't need the green altogether. Although, let's see. Light Pause, but... Okay, there's a Light Pause here, which is actually fine. Not that many auras. We could start taking auras, although it does feel quite bad. I could just take the Bearer of Memory instead. Though we don't have many enchantment creatures quite yet either. Ideally, we take this, but I do at least want to take one rare, so this is just me being selfish. We might... There's a Harmonious Emergence. This is... Oh, okay. Now, Touch the Spirit Realm is not on aura, so it's a bit of non-bow there. But we can use this to generate a creature out of one of our lands. This is more of a turn 5 drop, though, so... We literally have one real creature. We have a virtual 5 drop with Vigilance and Haste. We have a virtual 6 drop. So in reality, we only have 3 creatures. And we're kind of stretching the definition of creature there, so a bit scary on that end. But we definitely need to be on the lookout for creatures. Geothermal Kamis would be really great. Coiling Stalker, it's a creature. Hey, we got the Mech Titan core back, but we're definitely not interested in it at this point. I probably will end up taking the Coiling Stalker because we don't have to move it, which is quite important. I could probably take one of these as a potential splash, but not... Also, we should also be on the lookout for auras as well. And looks like we're about to get a slew of cards here. We've got a Dragonfly Suit, Mirror Shell Crab. We'll take the Suit. If we run a bunch of small creatures, we could run this one, but ideally I don't run it. Not impossible, though. Another Commune with Spirits. So, very sketchy. I probably don't even want to run both Communes. We might have to take the Hotshot mechanic just so something to consider there. Yeah, Short Circuit. We could have speculated on the Mech type. We could have drafted our own Titan Core coming back, but ooh. You got Takenuma, got an Intercessor's Arrest. This one is an aura, so with Light Pause we can combine it with this. It just gives us a lot more removal, which is probably not the worst thing considering we have zip of anything else here. I could even just take Takenuma, but it really does nothing for us. So we'll just take the Intercessor's Arrest. We are solid on removal. Now we just need ways to win. There's a Careful Cultivation, which is also an aura. This is it's put it onto the battlefield. Now this one does work with Light Pause. Also, it gives us a virtual channel if we need to. I would like to take Befriending the... Well, not Befriending, it's the other one. But we have a lot of the good enchantments, but we are missing some actual payoffs. So that might be a concern. There's a Gloom Shrieker that we can take. There's a Bamboo Grove Archer. Blossoming Sands helps our mana. I would probably have to take Golden Tail Disciple. As much as I'd like the Gloom Shrieker, Bamboo Grove Archer, yeah, likewise I probably would prioritize the Golden Tail Disciple for now. We're hoping the Blossoming Sands kills, but it's a bit on the questionable mark there. Yeah, we are missing some real payoffs here. Missing cards like a Generous Visitor and whatnot. Ooh-wee. Let's see. So we have a few early creatures, but nothing to really write home about. Yeah, so we're virtually at 7 and 7, which is still not great. Also, the Careful Cultivation. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. So we're technically more at 8 and 6. We got Shigeki. That's actually a very good way to recycle stuff back. Also, a Kappa Tech Wrecker, which is very decent. It does give us an additional removal. We probably want to take Shigeki, though. We have... kind of fits our team here. I guess now we can take Bearer of Memory. Otherwise, it's pretty much Uncharted Haven for our mana fixing. There's an Eiganjo Uprising that's really not great. No one really takes that card. Let's check our enchantment creatures. So Druid, Fox, Monk, Snake. So we have a few. We can start taking Bearer of Memory now. We got ourselves a Mirror Box. We also have a Sunblade Samurai, so that's also... This one also helps fix our mana a bit, so we definitely want to take this. We can also get this back with Shigeki. In the Mirror Box, I would love to take it back when it comes, but I'm probably not going to run it anyway. So we're actually with an Intercessor's Arrest, we might want to be on the lookout for a 2-mana aura as well. I think there should be some. Because we already have at least 2 3-mana auras. We have another one as well in... I'm tempted to take another Imperial Oath, but we probably want another Careful Cultivation. We just remembered that these have cycle options as well. Cycle channel options. So we're closer to a 12-6 based on the Careful Cultivation, Harmonious Emergence, and the Imperial Oath. Probably want to be running the full 17 lands as well. So for those tuning in right now, we did manage to get ourselves a solid enchantment base. Although I would say that we are a few payoffs away. We're hoping to get some real payoffs in Pack 3. Right now, I would say it's not so much. Yeah, we'll just snag some lands. If the Eiganjo Uprising comes back, this Windscarred Crag will be a payoff. So that's something for us to look forward to. We'll see if we get it back. Got a Roadside Reliquary, another Bearer of Memory. We do have a few artifacts, but We are preparing for a possible red splash, so we might want to just take the bearer just to be on the safe side. Hey, we got the Blossoming Sands back, so definitely our mana is kind of fine. I don't think we're getting Horizon back though. That's fine. We don't necessarily get everything back, but it's okay to have at least something back. Era of Enlightenment, yeah, we'll take it. A few of the sagas are fine. But now we need to... Hey, got ourselves a Restoration, which is very solid. I could always take this one. There's a Repel the Vile, but with all the removal we have, we're kind of happy. We actually might want Norika Yamazaki because we have a lot of enchantments that could come back. I'm probably gonna take Restoration of Aiganjo though, because it is a very solid. It is very solid when it hits its creature half. So we could probably cut the Iron Apprentice. We're on the lookout for some things better. Commune with the Spirits. If we get better stuff, we can cut that. We're probably gonna keep the Safekeeping though. We have a chain for Harmonious Emergence into either Intercessor's Arrest or Bearer of or Careful Cultivation, but nothing that chains from 3 to 2. So the Light Pause is a bit questionable. It's not impossible, but I'm not gonna totally rely on it. I would probably rather have the Selfless Samurai at this rate. Like we don't have a ton of samurai. This is pretty much the only other realistic one, but it does provide indestructible, so it's good enough for us. Also the hot shot mechanic probably also gets a cut as well. Still on the lookout for Skybless Samurai is a payoff. This is probably what we'd want. We don't really. I probably would like to take this for the collection, but we really need actual payoffs here. There's also a Merge Keeper, but we do, because right now our only end game, if we do get to an end game, it's literally just either Imperial Oath or now the Skybless Samurai. Jukai Preserver is a good fit for us. We do get to channel. Blade Blizzard Kitsune, way too expensive to ninjutsu though. Yeah, we'll take the Preserver here. So we have a solid. So we now have a pretty solid set here. Our removal is admittedly very soft to it's not perfect, but we'll take it. Ancestral Katana, Mech Hanger. Okay, nothing much for us here at all. I could spec on the Thundersteel Colossus because we are gonna have a bunch of small drops, so this is gonna be speculative. It's probably better than anything else that's on the board. Not so sure if we can fit it, but we'll see. Wanderer's Intervention is great. There's also a Geothermal Kami, which we really need at this point. Probably want it more than the Befriending the Moths. Yeah, we'll take the Geothermal. It also helps us more towards green, because I am willing to cut a few white cards to make this work. Although even that one might be a bit unsure. There's another Era of Enlightenment. It's probably better than anything else. Shrine Steward's a bit of a no. Bronze Cudgels does nothing. Because I'm already considering probably cut. What we could also do is we could like cut. Okay, got another Intercessor's Arrest. We can just start cutting green instead. Because most of our endgame is white anyway, so we could like say cut the Harmonious Emergence. We can probably cut Light Pause at this point because now we have no chain at all. We are heavy on 3 drops. I could just take a Regent's Authority's Combat Trick or a Papercraft Decoy, just have another 2-drop. This one makes sense. Actually, I'm not too sure about that. I would much rather have a lot of other things than what we have here. Favor of Jukai, Hotshot Mechanic. I'm not so sure about that. Hey, we got the Grease Fang back. I probably don't want another air, so we're gonna take that for the So, also note that the trees here are a little bit how to say this? It's a bit deceptive. We can like move the careful cultivations practically function as 2 drops. So there we go. That's our deck. Let's see if we can make this pan out here. Also, if you're tuning in, please throw a like or a comment so I can greet you guys properly. It's near the end of the first quarter of the year, but it would be nice to start on a high note at least. So we are running 9 and 9, which is fine. I would rather make this a 10 and 8 if possible, but it would be a question of which colors I cut. Like ideally, I want to cut. Like even Papercraft Decoy is probably fine versus the Commune with Spirits. Although Commune gives us some options, Bearer is fine. Cultivation. Yeah, I guess with 12 and 10 we can. Oh wait, sorry, other way around. I probably might want to cut another green card though. The Roaring Earth is kind of fine. Calling Stalker is fine. Yeah, Light Pause is a bit of a non. Yeah, Light Pause is going to be a bit of a non-go because it's way too specific. It's literally a 2-card combo because we only have one other big aura. I could just cut one Careful Cultivation and add another creature, I guess, or maybe even the Era is fine. The Scry is probably going to do us a lot of work here. We don't have the really powerful payoffs for this deck, but let's see if we can make this work. Yeah, also, it looks like it's Facebook being Facebook. Anyhow, let's see how this draft pans out. We don't exactly have powerful early start that we would expect with the constructed version of this deck. So, yeah, for those tuning in, we are just starting. Let's see if we can. Okay, that's fine. Turn to Shigeki. We can lock down the creatures for the time being. Worst case scenario, we can start digging for lands, which is a play. Be able to use this to bait out a combat trick at least. But also note white-black does have a bit of sacrifice, so Intercessor's Arrest not going to be as powerful. Touch the Spirit Realm is going to be better. Our opponent might have a combat trick that follows this, but it's usually better. Just block it, you don't really have to do anything else. Premature. Like I could just play Selfless Samurai just to offer something up. At least we could do a trade this way. I want to get the setup for this one ready, so we also could start making things cheaper. Let's see what our opponent has. Although we are giving them a card by nuking this. We can alternately nuke the Selfless Samurai instead. Let's just do that. Our opponent can sacrifice that, which is... It gets rid of the bigger problem permanent over the other. Our opponent is represented. opponent has something, we can actually just bounce Shigeki back to get ourselves a land. It will make it harder for cast Skybless Samurai, but we will be able to cast Sunblade instead. Which is quite fun considering our opponent is not exactly fast right now. Also want to set up Imperial Oath. No vigilance, but as long as Selfless Samurai can protect Skybless Samurai, we are bashing for quite a lot. Secrets. Okay, draw card. Right. It's the inside relic card. I could love that. Opponent now needs a particular answer for Skybless Samurai. We can also start bashing on the ground with Sunblade. Maybe start carrying down their board. Not so good. They probably have either the white or the black shrine. Oh, Twisted Embrace. It's a destroy effect though, so at least Selfless Samurai can protect it. We'll take that back. Yeah, Coiling Stalker is going to be nice though. It needs steel combat, which is an issue. Opponent is now setting up to snipe the Selfless Samurai. Now we could just go for the land. So opponent's going to take out the Skybless Samurai next turn. But we do have a trick here. We can dig for a land, so we can set it up so if our opponent takes it out, we can actually buy cards back. Okay, we hit our land, which is perfect. So we can decide between Imperial Oath. Oh, we can also use Touch the Spirit Realm to protect this, so that's actually pretty solid. So we're not going to play Shigeki. We can play Intercessor's Arrest, but they don't have a real threatening creature, so we're gonna actually pass. Yeah, we're gonna hold up Touch the Spirit Realm. We're gonna use its secondary mode. Our opponent can just swing with Kami. I'm actually fine with it. I can't do a double block because it just opens the floodgates for everything else. We're just gonna take the now we're trying to ruin it. Still holding up Shigeki. We just have to remember that we probably want to use it to buy back the Skybless Samurai at some point. If our opponent opens into something really nasty, then we can... Let's see, I'm thinking... they might have a particular ninja, a ninja to worry about, so that's why I'm just blocking it. Motion tie. Oh, it doesn't work that way because the toughness is still 4. You can target your own papercraft decoy. Yep. Well, I guess our opponent might want to draw a card. That might be the situation, so we'll leave it at that. We'll leave that up. No. Yeah, we're gonna be holding this back. Because we now can Shigeki for this we actually can get back 3 things, so it's a question of what things we get. Guide bot. Sure. So what are we getting there? Geothermal Kami, Touch the Spirit Realm, Selfless Samurai. We'll then take Geothermal to return the boost up Touch the Spirit Realm. And we don't need to remove anything, so we're actually going to move this back. Again, protection is really key. Opponent can just dig for cards right now. In fact, yeah, we might be able to get this one. Touch the Spirit Realm. I got this originally for removal, but not everything is about removal. Ooh, nice 11-12. This does have trample, so yeah, it has trample, so I'm just gonna block to make sure our opponent does not have ninja shenanigans. Yeah. There we go. With that, we get through our first match. Pretty decent. Nice. Okay, let's see if we can go on with the keep this tempo going. We are admittedly very dirtly. That's gonna be the nature of the set. But this is how we're going to play it. Against a more aggro opponent. So that's something for us to keep in mind. So we are keeping this though. We have Shigeki into Restoration. More likely to play the Jukai Preservers of 4 though. We are off the field now. taking hits from this one. Tattoo and a Toad Rider. Probably the worst thing that we could face. So, discard. Get it back because we don't really have anything else. I would much rather put it on here, but we kinda need to have something already. But yeah, Super Flood is not good. So we're hoping to dodge Burn. I am willing to trade Tatsunari for the Preserver even if we don't get it back. Also, this is dealt damage, so any destroy. So a regular destroy effect like that is not going to do it, but we are probably going to die. I can block Shooter up a land. So we're actually gonna just use the Rolling Star to block it. We don't really have anything else though. Yeah, this flood is kind of gone for us. At least attacks or blocks gives us a token, but it's not looking very great. Actually, if there's one thing I really like about Black-Red, it's how they have a lot of timely removal. Between Twisted Embrace and a bunch of the cheaper ones, it's actually very good at them keeping the early game in control. Let's do this now. Using the Roaring Earth, not too bad. Yeah, but we I have to decide if I want to cast this or just channel the channel back the Drew type Preserver. Roaring Earth probably not so great. Tamiyo's safekeeping not doable with the lands we had. If I played the forest, yeah, that would have been much better. So we're actually gonna just pass. I can't exactly swing with this one. If I had tapped the mana, if I had played mana differently, we would have. Alternately, if our opponent doesn't really do it, exiles a tree drop. Yeah. Yeah, this is actually going to be awkward. They're going to be... We probably want Selfless Samurai first. We want both, but neither of them are going to save us though. Because we do have a Trick of Swords. First swing to get ourselves another creature. So we can use Shigeki to get 2 cards back. Then we can use Tamio Safekeeping to mess with her. It's a tree. We get okay. We can get to respond. Tamio Safekeeping. Probably are still dead though, but could be worse. Yeah, we're technically still dead. We can't knock it. We need to knock the road. Yeah, I'm gonna just unload it. That's pretty much good game. Unfortunate, but yeah, generally if the opponent is able to get their power on us, that's pretty much it. I would have killed for it to be the other way around, gain 2 life, scry 2, but you know, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Ay. Could be worse, could be better, could be anything. So, but yeah, that is one of the weaknesses of us not going first and us having a slower start and drawing a ton of lands in the middle. Sometimes that's just how it is. Like, we can plot down our turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, but if we draw a lot of nothing afterwards, not much we can do. So this is actually very good. We could channel this for an early turn into a Bearer of Memory because we don't need to play Restoration quite yet. Also, the nice thing about channel is that we don't have to it does get extra, so it will block some removal. Under City's ground. Then Intercessor arrest this. It gets us some early damage. Alternately, we can go Restoration of Aiganjo. Start drafting to 6 so that we can threaten to get the Bearer of Memory out of control. Sometimes just having threat of activation is good enough. And also our opponent might have a better threat than for us to arrest than the 1/4. They could also have a way to kill this, which would be awkward. We really want to hit the Architect half. Bless you. Protecting this instead. Now this is exile target artifact or creature, so we can't protect this until much later. So now we can swing with this one. If our opponent blocks, okay, we can start kinda threatening our opponent this way. Let's see if they have a ninja for this. Also, we can use Touch the Spirit Realm to protect with that. Okay, no ninja. So late. Trash ball. Get no. So I can swing with this. Our opponent is kind of free to block, but I'm kind of want the intercessors arrest this because this is the one that wants to get back. If they want to swing with this, I'm fine. Need to hold up 2 mana. Although touch the spirit realm on architect means we're kind of back to square one. We don't get quite a bit of benefit here. It's still better than nothing. I actually like this golden coin architect design here. So it is a bit on the tank right now. Now we have to remember that touch the spirit realm is a lot more useful than just a banishing thing. Nothing has a mana value of 4. That's a mana value of 3, my friend. That's a mana value of 3 also. It's kind of why nobody really likes some Fall of War. It's kind of falling out of favor in that sense. We don't need the trample right away. Gains control of other permanents, sure. Actually, I'm very curious. Our opponent probably has something big that they're holding on to. Restless Shadows, that just gives them a 3/3. That's nothing to get back. Return from your graveyard to your hand, okay? So there's a geothermal Kami as an option. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Safe to just pair the board. Like if our opponent decides to go for the double block here, there. Yeah, opponent was in desperation mode there. They would have gotten a kill if they had blocked it, but yeah, the restoration was very good. I can see now. Oh, Tiffany Segalini. Yeah, thanks for the greeting. Okay, so, yeah, sorry I didn't catch you earlier, but yeah, hey there to you too. How are you doing? How's your week been? Hoping everything is going well in your corner of the world. Yeah, considering that there are a lot of other places that could be better, but yeah, let's spend this time to be grateful for what we have. I apologize, that's actually a bit presumptuous. I don't know where in the world you are, so I'm hoping that you're safe where you are, you're doing well where you are. That's all I can say. definitely get the paper craft points. You could also go era, but I think I would rather do a paper craft decoy now just to have an early feature. Depends what our opponent drops. Okay, they drop nothing, so I guess they're giving us time to do. Also, I don't think we need another planes at this point. Interesting, so that's very good though. Okay, thank you for using magic. Let's see. Here's hoping that yeah, so interesting. See, okay, so what we're doing right now is basically limited gameplay. So it's essentially a draft. So instead of coming with a deck of 60 cards of your own making, instead a group of players come together. We they open packs, and we each take turns picking a card out of the pack. That was the part earlier that I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I think you might have missed it. But in either case, that's pretty much how we get. So instead of just playing with all the best cards, we're learning how to be the best player with the cards that we already have. So it's a very different strategy altogether, I would say. Now we probably use this. Next turn we definitely will play the Sunblade Samurai at 5. The Hand of Enlightened. Our opponent might have ways of bouncing this back, so we are actually gonna try. Okay, opponent did not bite. But we definitely need to lock this one down. It does have haste, so we are going to take one hit. Opponent might swing with the Moon Circuit after they... Yeah, they definitely will swing. I wouldn't call it a random fate into antiquity. It is a legitimate card. So we do have an Intercessor's Oath. We can hold up mana for Lost in Sands. We also can hold up mana for Imperial Oath. We can also just get Imperial Oath now. I'm concerned that there might be a counter spell with the mana that's being held, but let's cast this first. See if they do have the crab as a counter spell. Because at the very least, I can block with the Papercraft Decoy, get myself a card out of in the process. We won't be locking this down anytime soon, though. Yeah, we need to hit our other review. It's not going to be a very good play. Starting to learn the gameplay. Well, it's going to be a bit of a journey, but we trust that ooh, not bad. Though bouncing one of their existing cards is actually fine with. I'm actually fine with that. More lands. Please no crap. They have it. So now we are legitimately in trouble. Because even our opponent would probably even be willing to bounce this one back. Yeah, but in the end, if you draw a lot of lands in a row, that kind of kills your game. Can't be helped. We only drew like 4 actual... Like 1, 2, 3... Yeah, we only drew like 4 actual cards. That's the hard part. So they probably bounce the Moon Snare Specialist, so anything we play next is gonna... The good news is this only bounces creatures, so some of our other removal is gonna lock this down. But we are in for a world of hurt. We're actually legitimate now to... Oh, to get the circuit breaker, wow. Green blue looking good too, I would say. Though I think I kind of delayed it a little bit. Now we need to set it up so we start drawing lands. Roaring Earth is fine. We can actually channel that, but we kind of want to keep it. Unfortunately, we can't. If our opponent can this, probably Moon Snare Specialist. The Moon Circuit Hacker. We'll take that. They might have another combat trick. In which case, sometimes everyone has all the cards. Have one blocker, but oh wait, no, this game's too light, so we could buy some time. You have to remember it's 2 mana, put X counter, so we can generate a 5 at least. Okay, 4 is just moving trade. The other problem is that we are staring down. 1, 6, oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 7. Yes, we can make a 6, 6 and still be able to block. Unfortunately, we are going to take a large hit here. Let's at least make sure that they... Okay, they didn't have any more ninjas, so that's kind of good news. But now we need to have a better bit. Come on, help me there. On my hand. Well, let's be. We will be fair. Channel is not exactly a. Channel is one of the harder combat tricks to figure out. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's easy to forget. Like, if I happen to draw that card, I'll show it to you later. Opponent actually should start swinging at me at this point because even if they're giving up creatures, okay, they're swinging now. We are gonna go down to 1, so really scary at this point. We really need another creature. Yeah, this is could be better. Woo-wee. I think I actually drew 7. Well, between the circuit mender, the circuit hacker, yeah, we were able to bounce a lot of stuff, but in the end, it wasn't really gonna save us that much. Okay. Well, not so great for us. We have only 2 wins and 2 losses. Any match could be our last. Ideally, you want to at least get 3 wins so that you can make a significant amount of your gems back. That was just because right now we're scheduled to win 250 gems. Ideally, you want to get the 1,000 gems. This is ideal. This is preferable. Anything above is really great. Let's see if there's a way to... It's really hard to say. Like, I could just add another careful cultivation, but I really like leaning the deck towards white more. We could also just hard run the Blade Blizzard Kitsune. Yeah, we're not... Well, the only reason I'm running the Coiling Stalker is not for the ninja, but because it's a 2-drop, which is perfectly fine. Now, if I were to run Blade Blizzard, and the double strike is occasionally relevant, maybe because this is a virtual 2-drop. Yeah, so we're at 8 and 10. I guess we just cut 1 Era of Enlightenment. As much as I like it, I like it early, but it's also not exactly the strong. Are you able to turn the game countdown with it? You're right. Hold on a second. Thank you for reminding me. Let's turn down the sound effects. The voice is rare. Okay, so we got the turn to Shigeki, which is always good. Although we are gonna, depending on our opponent's deck, we might be fine with just some... Well, let's see, our opponent could have removal for this. By choosing not to spend it, they would rather spend it somewhere else, I guess. We're basically setting up for the Papercraft Decoy while holding up mana. So, experimental synthesizer. Opponent into a line sash. Now, because there are artifact sacrifice synergies, we're actually going to just play the Bearer of Memory first. Because right now this is always going to be a 1-1 until something lands in the yard. And the moment they start landing things in the yard, we can just arrest it, so we can turn it off already at that point. Okay. Actually, it's a good... Actually, no, I should say thank you for reminding me about things like this, because it's been like... Because I recently had to reinstall everything on this PC, so a lot of setups that I did a long time ago, I need to set up again. Very painful. For me, the ideal play is if our opponent just cracks the synthesizer. That's okay. I could be mean, but nah. Our opponent is kind enough to say they're thinking. Yeah, if we're not able to protect Shigeki, we're kind of fine. That's fine. It's in the yard, so yeah, no way to get it back. Opponent landing the rare enchantment with the rare artifacts. So our opponent can actually eat 2 cards. That'll make this a 4/4. And make it all the more sweeper to arrest, I suppose. Basically just leaving out the papercraft decoy because we do need to draw cards. Not so sure if that was the right thing. I know some people would just arrest right away. Use Storm's Edge. None of... Okay, neither of these are Samurai or Warriors, so... Let's see if our opponent is... Nope, not willing to trade. We hit another line. Because if he swings with this one, that's going to be an additional combat phase. We can block with this, but these become scary. I can do Arrow of Enlightenment since we kind of need to start hitting lands. It's a bit scary here. We're going to keep holding up to touch the Spirit Realm just in case. Also, it holds up mana for Papercraft Decoy to be sacked, so that's pretty good for us. It's looking very 50 mana like a champ. Now, this has to attack alone, but the second attack doesn't have to be that way. Opponent can just equip the Sash. I am willing to trade, but I forgot this has first strike, so yeah, that was a bit... We should have done this one first. Now, there is no reason for them to attack with this itself, so yeah, swing with that. Now, this one will grow. Yeah, that's my fault, I did not read that one properly. So this is probably gonna grow a bit, I'm fine with that. But yeah, we goofed up on that. We should have sacrificed Selfless Samurai. Ooh, Restoration. Actually kind of fine, although this is going to eat it, so we probably want to lock this out first. I am willing to take an... I am willing to take a bunch. I found the helm. So let's see. Its activated ability. Oh, okay. Now, if they have the Voltage Surge, we can actually protect it. They're gonna let it land first. Yeah, I guess we pass. Because I suspect they have the Voltage Surge. Also, they can just move the Lion Sash over here. Goofed up on that first combat. That was really bad of us. Now they might have to burn here, so they did wait. Yeah, they did have to burn. That's fine. Only taking 6 now. We can use a Ganjo to... Oh wait! Oh wow! Wow! That was brutal. Oh, so many misplays there. So yeah, that was not so great of us. We kind of goofed up on that one. Ah well, that was a shame. We had the good one, but we really misplayed that Ryu. I did not realize that I did not realize it had first strike. That was a disaster on our end. Yeah, it's our fault. Oh well. Anyway, but there we go. There we go. That's pretty much gonna be it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. It's right on the hour. I kind of wish it lasted longer, but sometimes that's how it goes. The deck is good, but the pilot has problems. So if you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. If you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them on the page. I will be glad to answer any. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in, Tiffany Segalini. It was nice to chat with you. Thank you for giving me feedback on what's up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Take care.